Bye, Dan.
Bye, bud. Hello, gentlemen. How are you?
Hey, Rich.
Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you. I got to get up and vote today while I got sworn in. Worked out perfect.
Hey, kill a couple of birds with one stone.
How you doing, Rich?
Hello, sir.
Okay, you can see me, right?
Nope.
No? Why is that?
Okay, so
we got 4 out of 6, so we can.
yep. So this is the
Is Chris? You said Lauren's not going to be here, but Chris is.
no, Chris is not going to be here today. He has
Yep.
an appointment, and Lauren is also not going. She said she was not going to be able to make it originally. She
So
said she may try to make it, but
So it's good that
Uh,
Jeff is here, so we have a
I
quorum.
wasn't sure. But we have a quorum. Even with the 3 of us, we would have had a quorum. But
Can we have a quorum with 6 if there's only 6 on the committee with 3
Yeah.
people?
yeah,
All right. I wasn't sure if you had to have
well,
more than 50%.
if Jeff wasn't on the committee, we only had 5, so we had 3.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Once Jeff got added, that made 6. So him being here makes the quorum. So we have a quorum. We can have our meeting.
So
This
now
is
we
the-
have another meeting and only 3 people there. That's not a quorum, right? Now
I
that we have
believe-
6 full members.
I believe so, Joe. Yes.
Yeah, it's something to Doug. You can ask Doug or somebody on that one.
Okay.
I think it is
So-
the case. Yeah, but go ahead.
Thank you. This is the October 22nd meeting of the Capital Planning Committee. This meeting is being recorded, so it can be replayed online for anybody that wants to watch the meeting. I'm going to share the agenda first.
People are allowed to, the general public is allowed to zoom into this meeting as well, right?
Yes, the general public is allowed to zoom into the meeting. We do not have any general public people currently on the meeting. It is just the 4 of us right now.
You're hosting. Nobody from our WRPS is here?
Nobody from WRPS is here. I'm hosting the meeting.
Yeah, because usually at our finances, somebody from WRPS will host it and stay in the meeting.
Yeah, no, I'm hosting the meeting.
All right.
So
I like your background, the stadium there, but your head keeps fading in and out on me.
yeah, if I don't look at the camera properly, it'll
Get fuzzy. All right.
get fuzzy. So
The agenda you were trying to put up. Okay. I have a copy of it here, I think, anyway.
yep. So here's the agenda for today's meeting. Meeting is called to order at 7:05. And what I'd like to do is go over the minutes from the March 23rd meeting as the first point of order. That was our previous meeting. So let me pull those up and I'll share those.
Man, you didn't send them.
No, I didn't send you those meeting minutes.
Nope. Are you all caught up with Donna on sending minutes?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, we just found out she's retiring in the spring.
So here are the meeting minutes for March 23rd, the March 23rd meeting. The meeting was called to order at 6:36. Joe seconded that. The minute review, Lauren made a motion to accept the minutes. Joe seconded for the review of the March 20th meeting minutes. We had a presentation from the IT department for a new article for the computer and tech upgrade, which comprised of the Barracuda security software and the Community Preservation Committee.
51,500.
51,500 was going to be in fiscal year 2021.
Okay.
And then the phone system was going to be pushed out to 2022, and that was going to be $84,000.
Okay. Was there a price tag on the article for the Barracuda system and security software?
Um,
I don't remember. Sorry.
I don't remember. I think that ended up getting compressed and dropped down, and
Oh.
because of the budget cuts and
Oh, all right.
stuff like that,
So if he comes back to us, it's probably going to get pushed out. All right.
probably.
Yeah.
I know that we have the meeting, the special town meeting next month to go over the third round of the next 2021 budget that they're still trying to finish before we can
Yeah.
even get started on doing the 2022 stuff.
Yeah.
So,
We approved the warrants and we approved all the budget upgrades. So we're all set for town meeting.
so Doug Lapp was to compile the present facility department items for any town buildings. They were going to add an article for town capital projects on an annual basis for $85,000 in fiscal year 2021 to 2023. Board of Health came, they were going to modify the existing $205,000 article for the Board of Health recycling plant as it reflected reconstructing the drainage and the road. We now have fiscal year 2021 $50,000 as phase one, which makes phase two $155,000 in fiscal year 2022.
Okay.
That's because they split that into two. That was the first cut and the first thing, and I believe that's how it's denoted in our current plan. Discuss any new business for the committee. I don't believe there was any. Made adjustments to the plan for the fire station as the total, as it is erroneous. It should say 26 million, not 5 million, because I had a mistake in my math when I
Oh, yeah.
on the plan. We ranked the items outlined above. Joe made a motion to add the 4 new articles to the plan as requested, that were requested tonight. Lauren seconded, it was unanimous. Joe made a motion to amend the plan and accept the scoring and ranking as conducted tonight. Chris seconded, it was unanimous. Joe Gambon made a motion to adjourn at 8:04 p.m. Chris seconded, and that again was unanimous. I'm asking Joe for a motion to accept these minutes, since Joe was the only member that was here besides myself.
So we can still vote on these and there's only 2. Well, yeah, I guess. All right. I'll make a motion to accept them.
Okay, and I'll second it.
And you and I can only vote 2 votes.
You and I can vote. So
Which I think that's acceptable because we have a quorum.
we have a quorum, so it's 2 in favor and 2 abstain. So let me just
Is
note
somebody
that.
taking minutes right now? Is that you, Doug?
Yeah, I just assumed, so I just started writing.
Thank you.
I usually take notes anyway, so.
No, I appreciate it. I'm terrible at taking notes and taking minutes. So. Look at the plan. Sewer, water, highway.
Rich, can I ask one question?
Yep.
I obviously wasn't at that meeting, but if the departments make any modifications to the plan as they kind of implement it, they need to come back to us, right? So I don't know, I don't know how the spending actually works, but it looked, I remember the Board of Health conversation about the recycling plant and the drainage and the roads. And I thought I saw from Facebook posts that both those pieces were happening. So I don't know what got turfed to a phase 2 and what didn't, or whether they just ended up going forward with everything. So I'm just curious.
I don't think they went forward with everything. I think they just went forward with the first the road part.
Which was phase
They
one,
did
right?
not do the drainage. I thought I saw something that they were, but
Yeah. I believe
that-
they did the highway department stuff with the road.
I'm guessing for that price, the $50,000 that in phase one, I think it was the road going from the shack all the way down to the piles where you dump your grass and leaves and brush. And I think the drainage was behind that building. So I'm guessing the drainage might have been included in that 50, no?
I don't.
Just to answer Doug's question, I thought it might have been, but maybe the road, it was just the road for 50? That sounds high for just that section of road. But
I wouldn't be surprised if they had to dig the whole thing up and redo it. That road was terrible.
oh yeah, I can't wait to check it out. See what it looks like, the new road. Even in my pickup truck, I go down there all the time. I got locked in last time I went down.
No, did you really?
I went down, they were supposed to close at 4:30. I got there at like 4:15 and the guy waved me in and I went all the way down and I went down and emptied my leaves and everything, came back and it was probably it could have been 4:05 and the gate was locked on me and nobody was around. I called the head of the Board of Health, Del, and she was at home. And then I called her. I didn't realize it was a combination lock, not a key lock, because she was gonna see if she could find somebody with a key. So I ended up calling the police department, non-emergency, and let them know. And lucky enough, they used way up behind in the back of the recycling center. They use that as a shooting range.
Mm.
The Rockland police do. So there was a detective that had the combination. I had to wait about a half an hour for him to come down and open the combination and let me out.
Where were you? I was locked in the dump.
and then Deli tells me that, it's supposed to be open at 4:30. She was all pissed at the guys, and then she came back and said, "Oh no, we changed it. It's only open to 4:00." But all the websites and everything say 4:30. So she said, "We're going to be updating the website."
Okay, so
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
the next item on the agenda is the reorganization of the committee.
Did we do any reorganization yet?
No,
No.
we normally do the reorganization at the first meeting of every year, and this is our first meeting this year.
Which, just for Jeff's purposes, technically committees are supposed to have at least one meeting a month, but they don't hold everybody to it. And I know every committee doesn't do it because they don't have a lot of activity. We don't have a lot of activity. So that's why we haven't met since before. I mean, the first time of this fiscal year.
That, and I've also had an awful lot of issues with my family and
Oh, I meant to give you my condolences about your mother. I'm sorry.
yeah, and
Uh.
there's some other stuff that I don't want to go on because we're
Yeah.
recording this meeting, so. Um,
I'd like to nominate Rich as chairman this year.
Second,
okay, I'll accept.
You accept? All right. 2 seconds. Anybody, all in favor? Aye. So you're the new chairman. Next, I don't know.
Do I have a nomination for the vice chairperson?
Doug, aren't you currently vice chair?
Currently,
no, Chris is currently vice chair. Did we connect with Chris at all to see if he was interested in continuing in the role?
he did not say he was not interested.
It's hard to nominate somebody who's not here though and have them accept it, isn't it?
So what did you say Chris had tonight that he couldn't make it?
Chris was hosting another meeting tonight that he was not able to make.
No, so I wouldn't, I mean, I have his phone number. I could give him a quick call and ask him, but I didn't want to interrupt. I don't know if you want to, is that what you're looking at, his phone?
No, I had a text. I wanted to make sure it wasn't my kid.
No, I hear you. Do you want me to give him a quick call and see if he's still wants to be, or unless you're interested in it, Doug? Or Jeff?
I'll make a motion to nominate Doug as the vice chairman.
I'll second that if you're interested, Doug.
That's fine, as long as Rich does his work, I'll gladly be his Robin.
I mean, that's basically the chairman just has to stand in for Rich if we have a meeting and he can't attend at the last minute or something. I mean, there's really
In other
not.
words, reschedule till Rich can't attend.
Huh? All right. So Jeff made the motion, I seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Do I get to vote for myself?
And now the difficult one. We need a
Wow.
secretary.
You don't know if Lauren wanted to continue?
I don't know if Lauren wants to continue because I know that Lauren is looking to do some other things to try and help the town.
She still wants to stay on the committee though, right?
I don't know.
I hope so. It's not, I mean, like I said, it's not a very, compared to, I mean, finance and stuff and some other committees out there, we're the only busy part is us getting the plan up to date and keeping it up to date is the hardest thing here. And it still is not, we don't meet that frequent.
So
So Joe or Jeff, any interest?
I'm not interested, no.
I'll do
You
it.
want to be second?
I
I'll
nominate Jeff for secretary.
I'll second that.
I figure I nominated Doug. He's going to nominate me back for something.
I'll second that nomination.
and
I'll
what
start
else-
next meeting, Doug. You look like you're working diligently there.
You got it.
And what I'll do, Jeff, is I'll send you some sample minutes that have been done in the past so that you'll have them.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think it would be a bad thing, Rich, where every time you send them to Donna for her, when they're all finalized and for her records, to just include everybody for a copy in case they want them.
That's fine. I can do that.
All right.
Okay, so that takes care of the reorganization of the committee. And now review of the plan and discussion of things. Just wanted to briefly show the plan, to go over it, to answer any questions for Jeff, where Jeff is new to the committee, kind of explain the process to him so that, can you see my screen?
Yeah, hold on.
So what we end up doing is starting normally in December and January, we will meet with each of the town departments, go over what the items are that they have on the plan currently, what they have on the plan and what they feel they want to put on the plan for the next year and what they have over the next 5 years. Okay, so for instance, the water department always has water meter replacements out there every year for $50,000.
This year, they just happened to lower it to 45 for us. They didn't use as much, they said, I think, right?
Yeah, I think that was part of the
Cutbacks a little bit.
the cutbacks and part of the there was something with the water department and a loan or something that there was something that I don't know, but it was something that the numbers weren't all the same this year. This is what they had expected as far as receipts or something. So so it ended up being a little less this year, but that's what they expect every year. If there's So we talk about the current projects, any new projects, anything that they want to take off the list, anything they want to put on the list. It's not this committee's responsibility to decide whether or not a project is going to go or not go. Okay, we don't decide the funding. That's for the finance committee to do.
Right.
We look at the projects and we rank the projects individually based on the criterias that are set forth for the capital planning committee.
You don't have a sample of a blank
I don't
rating sheet.
hang on, I think I have one.
If you don't, you can just send one to Jeff so he can see and get an idea how we do it. And even though Rich said we don't determine whether a project goes on the plan or not, we always put them on, but we only put them on if the department presenting it or committee presenting it has sufficient information, they have sufficient dollar quotes and whatnot.
Yeah,
And it's important to know, Jeff, that
Yeah, we make sure that they're prepared.
Okay, Joe, hang on, Joe.
Go ahead.
Let me finish the sentence. So yes, in order for it to get on the plan, they have to, have the backup. They have to have quotes. They have to have how they're planning on paying for it, whether it's going to be grants or whether it's going to be can you see the new share?
Yeah, the capital improvement rating sheet.
Yes. Okay.
Yep.
So these are the ratings that we use to rank each of the individual projects. Okay, so every project comes in. They have to have an estimated cost of what the project is going to be. They have to have a duration of how long the project is going to run, how many years it's going to go, whether it's a multi-year project or whether it's a single-year project. They have to have whether it's a how important it is to them, what the lifespan is for the capital expenditure? Is it something that's going to last 20 or more years? You know, like a school building? Or is it something that's going to last, 5 to 9 years, like a police cruiser? How does it, what does it have on, operating and maintenance costs? Does it affect town revenue? Are there any availability of state or federal grant money? So we do up one of these ranking sheets for every single project. And that ranking sheet comes in to play with here, and that comes up with the score in this column on the spreadsheet.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So every time we take a new project in, we go ahead and we score that project.
Okay.
All right. So when we go ahead and score the project, then at the end of the year, we take all of the projects and we put them together. And when we put all of the projects together, we list them by rank order and come up with a ranking of what the number one ranking project is down to the lowest ranking project in a rank order of importance, say, to the town. And then what the finance committee and the town and the town meeting, says they're willing to pay, decides whether or not the project actually is either makes it onto the warrant or makes it into fruition. But it can't go on the warrant unless it's on the plan.
Okay.
Okay, so
Right, we have the right to stand up and say that if this is out of order, this warrant, if it's not on our plan. And we've had rush meetings at the last minute to get it on the plan because actually the town hall didn't come to us to put it on something on the plan that they had a warrant for. I believe so, right, Rich?
So in order for it to go to town meeting and have a warrant, it has to go on the plan.
Okay.
So this is the plan as we have it here. I sent you a copy of the plan. So everybody has a copy of the current plan. What I will be doing is I normally will be sitting down or reaching out to Doug Lapp sometime in November or December to find out when he's going to be having his departmental meetings to start to work on what the 2022 budgets are going to be, to get the warrants and the articles, the departmental wish lists in. Everything is pushed back right now because of COVID.
I have a question, Rich.
Yes. Go
There's 3 warrants being voted on. It's the $25,000 for the fire department. I just want to make sure, is that on here? I can't remember what page.
It's not 50,000 or more. That was the point I was actually going to make, to make sure you knew too, Jeff, that there's some things that you might think in your mind as a capital asset and might go on here, but if it's not more than 50K, it doesn't belong on our plan.
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh, okay.
It's only 25, right?
If it's not more than $50,000, it doesn't go to us.
Joe, are you talking about that study?
The study, yeah, 25. I was thinking
25.
more. So it's only 25, so we don't need to put it on the plan. But what was the other article for? It was the budget change, with that doesn't need to go on here either because that's separate from, it's not It's the budget. We don't do anything. We have nothing to do with the budget here.
Correct. That's all finance committee and
And just so you know, the third warrant was just to pay unpaid bills from the
Yep.
prior year. That didn't affect us either.
so, when I talked to Doug the other day, he said that everything is pushed back because of COVID. So I would imagine we're going to be into a similar situation as we've been in the past, where we'll probably get started sometime around, get into really busy season.
It's your
Around-
tax season.
Around January. We may get one or two meetings, maybe one meeting in December. And then try to get, and then we'll probably be meeting in January. And then what we'll be doing is I'll be setting up meetings with as many departments as I can, as often as I can. Normally, won't meet more than once a week. But we may meet 2 to 3 times a month in January and February, so that we can get all of the information in from the departments, so that we can get everything ranked and put on the plan, so that we can get things, get the new plan ready. Normally, the timelines for us are, we try to have everything done by the middle of March, so that we can have the plan to the finance committee, so that the finance committee knows what's on the plan, so that they know what's going on the warrant, so that I can make the presentation to the Board of Selectmen, so that everything is ready for town meeting in May. So the idea is, from a timeline perspective, January and February is when we do the majority of the work. Try and get everything done in March, so that we can get everything to the finance committee and Board of Selectmen by the beginning of April.
Sometimes we've come down to the wire and like presented like 1 or 2 meetings before the town meeting to the selectmen. And that's usually, we come down to the wire because we have trouble getting department heads to meet with us sometimes. It's gotten a lot better in the 10 years I've been on this, 11 years I've been on this committee. There were times we couldn't even get committees come and meet us. It was so hard. But now that they know that if it has a dollar value over 50,000, it's not going to go on a warrant unless they come and talk to us.
And I think it's gotten better over the last couple of years, and Doug is really working well with us. I like working with Doug, and
I think he's doing an awesome job.
I think so as well. And he's
Much.
This was a tough first budget cycle for him.
Oh yeah, and
The budget cycle that isn't ending.
I think he's weathered it very well.
I can sympathize. This is my first budget cycle in my job too. It is very difficult.
Yeah.
During a pandemic to be dealing with a budget for the first time.
So that's essentially what we're going to be doing. My question to the group is, in the past, Thursdays have always worked well for us. Do Thursdays still work for the group?
Yes, for me,
Yep.
because of course, finance is always meeting on Wednesdays. So that would eliminate me and Jeff on that.
Okay.
The only
It's-
conflict I continue to have, Rich, is the school building committee meetings are on Thursdays when they happen. They're once a month, so And it's a timing question. I don't know if you remember last year, one was scheduled at 6 and one was 7. So I was able to make it work for the most part. Might be late here and there. So
Give us a heads up on that, Doug. And for me, I can do any night of the week other than Wednesdays when the finances meeting, except for Friday. Nobody wants to meet on Friday. So Monday or Tuesday wouldn't be bad if we needed to work around to get more members at our meeting. I don't know how that works for you, Rich, Mondays and Tuesdays.
they're the third Thursday of the month. So it's just and honestly, they're usually no longer than the longest I feel like we've had is an hour and a half. So, if we had our meetings at 7:30 or 8, it would be fine. They usually start at 6, although lately, actually in the COVID era, they've been at 4 during the middle of the week.
I think once they break ground, Doug, that your meetings are going to get more intense and a little bit longer.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Well, I foresee the Zoom meetings continuing for the foreseeable future. I don't see us actually getting back into the town hall anytime.
I was surprised Abington, actually, their Board of Health had a live meeting, I think, recently. I was surprised.
I was over there today and it was, everybody was there. It was like every office had people in it.
They're open?
The town hall, yeah. Clerk's office was
Abington
full.
or our town hall?
Our town hall.
Yeah, they're all working, but they try to only bring people in by appointment.
Yeah.
They're saying it's technically not open. It's only open by appointment.
No, I meant workers. I mean, a lot of the employees were, if they're back to it looks like they're back to the office.
Hey, I've been working 7 days a week through all this whole COVID thing since it started.
So does
My
anybody
company's.
does anybody have any additional new business for the committee?
I just wanted to, for Jeff's purposes, this capital plan that we do here, it's important because it really helps our bond rating. The bonding company wants to see a 5-year capital plan. If we didn't have a 5-year capital plan, it probably would bring our bond rating down a little bit. And also, I think the treasurer does an awesome job, John Ellard, in helping manage the funds for the town and keeping our bond rating down too.
Okay. I just had one question. Like the finance committee, do we do liaison meetings with the various departments? Like, do we all share that responsibility?
We haven't tried it, but it's, to be honest with you, I mean, we could if Rich wanted to, but in my opinion, Jeff, the liaisons, it helps a little bit. I don't think it's helps a lot because there's a lot of departments that we really don't need a liaison on the finance committee. There's a lot. I mean, I'm usually always take the Board of Health as liaison. You'll see this year who you want to, I mean, what department you want to work with. But yeah, we get some, for your purpose, Rich, we do get some good feedback when the individuals here, an individual on the committee would go meet with either the sewer department or the water department and talk to them about what they got going on. And then that member can come back and relay that information in an open meeting.
Yeah, no, I just wasn't sure if that's how we filled out those sheets, the ranking sheets.
No,
Yeah,
the ranking sheets are filled out. The department heads actually come in and meet with us as a group.
Oh, okay.
Each department head will come in and meet with us at one of our meetings. So at a meeting, we'll have the police chief or the fire chief or the sewer commissioner or the water commissioner or multiple people come into one of our meetings, and they'll present what they have to present for whatever it is that they need that time. The school department will come in and present their needs for the year, for their warrants and their stuff. So it's, and I usually reach out to the department heads myself and schedule those meetings. So I'll schedule them to come into our meetings.
Gotcha.
They'll come in and present to all of us at the same time. So we don't
Okay.
necessarily need a liaison to go and get the information and bring it back to us. We get it right from the horse's mouth. That way, anybody that has any questions can ask the department head themselves.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we kind of work in a team like in that respect, and then ultimately, we're just trying to make sure we have all the information we need to properly complete that ranking. So we want to walk out of there collectively knowing what would need to go on the plan and then how we understand their project. So it's actually really interesting. You get to kind of learn about a lot of different things happening around the town or proposed to happen around the town.
Yeah.
Learning a lot more about like sewer systems than I ever thought I would in my life. So
And I try to relay things that are going on in the finance committee. I try to relay that information back to the capital planning so they can be more knowledgeable on stuff. And even if a department doesn't have any new warrants or items that they want to put on the plan, Rich will still contact them and meet with them so we can update any items that are currently on the plan, even though they're not adding, because the current year we have items that didn't either, the warrant got tossed out or something, so we have to push it. We'll end up pushing it up to the next year, or the committee might say it's not even going to work next year. We want to push it out 2 years on the plan. That's why you see some big items out there that like an individual item or something. For example, the installation of doors at the library, the dome and siding for the library. That's 65,000. It's out in 23 because they know they're not going to get to it to then. And they're going to have to, by the time 23 comes, they're going to have to come meet with us and update that number, because that number is going to definitely be, it's an old quote. And I know they've done a little bit of work already on it. I think things like that. And also you mentioned the ranking sheet that the departments don't even see our ranking sheets. It's really none of their concern because that's our business to rank. And when you were looking at the questions there, that each question is ranked 10, 7, 5, 2, or whatever.
Yep.
When we vote, sometimes we will pick a number in the middle. Instead of picking a 7 or 10, we might say, let's go 8 or 9. If some members want to go, think should be a 10, and some members should think it should be a 7, we'll say, let's go 8 or 9. Which one do you want to go with? You know what I mean? So we're flexible there, and that helps with skewing the numbers a little bit, because if you notice on the ranking sheet, a lot of projects come out, have the same number, get the same ranking, because with only 6 questions, and if you stick to those numbers, a lot of them tend to come out with the same rank. So, that's why you'll see some of them rank 1A, 1B, 1C. You know what I mean? And that's why we do it that way.
Okay.
the piece that's probably missing from our process that you might expect in a kind of a capital planning process is really just making a comprehensive list of all of the capital assets that the town has, when they might need to be replaced or when they were most recently placed. Like, how many boilers do we have across, buildings, and how many roofs, and when were the roofs replaced, and windows, and whatever things you want to imagine. We don't really do that. We rely on the departments to articulate what the most compelling needs are. So there might be an opportunity to do that, but that's a big undertaking. And I feel like the discussions we've had where the town doesn't really have a facilities director, and that they would really need to be able to aid us in doing that kind of work, because we just don't have the capacity to get into every single asset that exists in town.
I mean, one project on this plan that really sticks out to me is Doug's project for 85,000. Alan Chaka, his predecessor, he was not as good as Doug in working with us. And when I mentioned that the town hall was one of the departments that forgot to come to us to put something on the plan, he was in place at that time. And that's how that happened. He just happened to forget about us. And then at the last minute, he says, "Oh, I got a warrant that the town hall wants to submit, that we're voting on, that should be on the plan." And we had to have a last minute meeting. I think, didn't we conduct it in the cafeteria right before the town meeting?
I think so that year. Yeah.
But I think Doug's a little more on top of things than that, so. But that 85,000 to me is, I think it's a little high, and that's more of a question for the finance committee too. Because what's he wants to spend 85,000, he wants a budget of 85,000 a year to do repairs that he wants to do around town, whether it's mainly the town hall, but he could also use it to do, if you want to do a small project, the community center that needed money, it kind of gives him a little leeway on that 85,000. But to me, it's a kind of a high number to give him a free reign on, you know what I mean?
Right.
But I think the finance committee, that's a discussion for the finance committee, whether we go with that number or lower it at town meeting on the warrant.
That's a difficult to have on this plan too, in terms of it's not a specific item. So
Yeah.
in terms of how to rank it, and the actual spending of that money might be a $10,000 project here, a 15,000 there, a 30,000. And they may collectively, none of them actually hit the 50,000 threshold.
And I'm always saying too, that no matter where the money's coming from these projects, whether it's a grant or it's gonna be from like the water department and the sewer department, almost all of their projects come out of the undesignated funds for the sewer and water department. They, with their proceeds that they get, they do set money aside in an undesignated fund that they can use that money to work on projects. So a lot of their projects don't affect taxes, or they're not going to affect, you know what I mean? When we go through, the finance committee goes through all these warrants, is most of theirs will not be included in what we're going to do with the free cash and how we're going to spread that out over the warrants.
Okay.
Just a little background.
That would be what, water, sewer, trash?
No, the trash tends, I mean, the Board of Health does tend to come to us more often than the water and sewer, looking for extra money above. They don't have an undesignated fund like the water and sewer, even though they got proceeds, but because all their proceeds, I don't think they have enough proceeds that really cover their budget and contracts for the trash and everything, so. But typically, the water and sewer do collect enough extra money above their budget that they can put stuff aside for major projects. And typically they have more major projects, those two departments, than the Board of Health would.
Board of Health's the Board of Health's only major project since I've come on the board has just been the stuff at the recycle center that we just got this past year. So that's been the only major capital project. So.
And I think they've come to the capital, they've come to the finance because they needed extra money because they didn't budget enough for the contract for the trash or whatever. But I think those have been under 50. They're like asked for $30,000, $40,000 because they underestimated the contract, or the contract went up on them. And I mean, you know what happened. We lost the head of the Board of Health at one point, you know that.
Right.
Because she wasn't doing her job, and Delhi got the position.
Okay, so
Delshon. I call her Delhi. She likes to be called Delshon.
are there any other questions or anything else that we'd like to speak about?
I think we hit on everything.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a
So
motion
moved.
to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in
All in
favor?
favor?
right.
Okay,
All right.
then let
Thanks,
me,
guys.
I will
Good
stop the recording.
So we're no longer be